Just imagine, you get trapped in a strange room where bizarre things are happening and there is no way out, or something like that happens in our story today. At the beginning of the story, we see a large white room in which a Japanese man was lying down. Suddenly, when he opened his eyes, he got a little scared seeing himself in this large empty room. After a while, he started looking around. When he went near a wall, he saw something sticking out from the wall. After a little investigation, when he pressed the edge of that strange thing, he saw thousands of baby angels starting to come out of the walls. But shortly, they all went back inside the wall, leaving just a small portion of their bodies outside. Now the man understood what this strange looking thing actually was. A voice tells us that this phase of life is called learning. After discovering the truth about that button, the man started sniffing his finger. He made a lot of noise for anyone around to help him. But when he got no response, he began pressing different buttons one by one. With each button, new things started falling into the room. Sometimes a toothbrush would come out and sometimes a big bouquet. He calculated that pressing one button would produce a particular item. To test his theory, he pressed the same button repeatedly, creating a pile of chopsticks. But as soon as he pressed the next button, a shopping cart quickly came out and hit his foot hard, causing him to scream in pain. When he pressed the next button, it transformed into a child's bottom that spat on his face. After that, he kept pressing different buttons and gathered a lot of things. When he was playing with a ball, it hit a button, bringing out a delicious Japanese dish called sushi. He was happy because he was really hungry. He thought if he could also get some soy sauce with the sushi, it would be great. But even after pressing the button repeatedly, only sushi would come out each time. So he quietly started eating what he got. After finishing the meal, when he pressed the button again to order more, this time a bottle of soy sauce appeared in front of him. In anger, he threw the bottle away since it didn't come when it was needed. Pressing the select button, yarata halaki 3D glasses. Wearing the glasses, he saw a baby angel pointing towards his button. Seeing this, he was very happy because he thought that he had solved the mystery of the room. But pressing the button started a countdown, and at the end, a huge backside emerged from the wall and covered his face with Leia. Cave. After pressing a few more buttons, he got a book that he found quite interesting. In a few hours, he read 5 of its chapters, but when he pressed the button to read the 6th book, the 7th book came out. Frustrated, he pressed another button, but from that too, only the 8th and 9th books came out. In the quest for the book, he pressed another button. Suddenly, he noticed a door behind him appeared. He was very happy to see it, that finally he could get out. But in his excitement, he forgot which button it was. So he started pressing any button. Pressing the first button, an African man ran from one wall to the other. From the second button, water started dripping on his head. But finally, on the third try, the door opened. As soon as he let go of the button and tried to go towards the door, it would close. After trying for a while, he realized that the door would stay open only as long as the button was pressed. As long as he got into a running position and stood on the button so he could quickly reach the door. But before he could get there, the door closed. After that, he tried many unusual methods, but none worked. He even tried sitting in a shopping cart to quickly reach the door, but all... Tradisone used his brain and placed a bouquet on the button, but it wasn't heavy enough to keep it pressed, so now he had to fill the bouquet. He tried pressing the water button to fill it with water, but the water wouldn't fall anywhere except on her body. Then she used her brain and filled the vase with sushi. He took it there with great difficulty, but he mistakenly placed the bouquet on another button, after which the African man came running and, due to the collision, the bouquet also broke. The went. He started yelling in anger and frustration. He tried a few more small tricks, but the door would close every time just before he reached it. Then by mistake, pressing a button made a rope come down. He calculated that by swinging on the rope, he could quickly reach the door, and he did. But when he tried to open the door behind the wall, he discovered that a key was needed to open it. 8 was needed.
He came back into the room before the wall closed. When he kicked the wall in anger, a key started floating in the air. But like the door, this key would also disappear shortly after releasing the button. Now he needed to figure out a way to quickly grab the key and reach the door. But when he pressed the button for the key again, a dog came out of the wall and barked at him. It seemed he got confused again because all the buttons looked the same. After that, he found the correct button and placed a piece of sushi on it. After failing once or twice, he finally managed to reach the door with the key. But the trouble is not over yet. There was a lock with a number on it above the door. He quickly went towards the room, but as he was exiting, the wall hit him hard on his rear again. In frustration, he threw the plunger to the other side and hitting one of its buttons, the African man again came out tee, but this time he noticed that the African man had a number 3 written on his head, and perhaps that number would unlock the lock because the wall kept closing repeatedly. So he unlocked the lock in 3 attempts. Gave it. The door seemed a bit jammed, so he had to put in a little extra effort, and meanwhile the wall went back down. There wasn't enough space there for him to fully was able to open. He became despondent and sat there crying. He was remembering the time inside the room. He realized how much he had in the room. Yes, he couldn't go outside, but he appreciated what he had in time. Suddenly, Apita, he felt a gust of wind from his left side. He opened the fake wall and ran outside. The whole place looked exactly the same. It seemed as if he was running in the same place. While running, he reached another room where the light was slightly dimmer. As soon as he entered, the door closed. A voice tells us that this stage of life is called practice. The man in the room started pressing different buttons. Some button made fire come out from a singer's mouth, while another button made a magician's trick in Russia fail. Press N for the third button, and in China, why not? A man started barking at his dogs. The man saw that, like the previous room, this room had no ceiling. Rather, light was coming from above with angels flying in it. This time something very different was on his mind. She started climbing up by holding the buttons instead of pressing them. She was successful, and pressing each button caused amazing things to happen in different corners of the world. Somewhere flowers bloomed, while somewhere an elephant slipped. As she kept going up, toast started being made somewhere, and humans reached the moon somewhere else. By the time she reached the top, her beard and hair had grown a lot. Now she didn't need to hold on to the wall. Like the other angels, he was flying in the air. A voice tells us that he has now attained the status of God, and now the whole world, according to him. By the end, white feathers started flying around him, which took him to the last room. The wall of this room had a map of the entire earth, and there was also the biggest button ever made. He moved forward to press it, and the screen went black. So if you could become God for one day and change anything on this earth, what would you do with this power? Definitely tell us in the comments.